Good evening po sa ating mga makikinig. This is the ARBC Devotionals series from Genesis to Revelation. Now we are on our Leviticus segment. Our scripture will be in Leviticus chapter 26, verses 1 to 5, 14 to 16, and 40 to 43. So let us read with me. This is the word of God, Leviticus chapter 26. Blessings for obedience. You shall not make idols for yourselves, or erect an image or pillar, and you shall not set up a figured stone in your land to bow down to it, for I am the Lord your God. Verse 2, you shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. If you walk in my statutes and observe my commandments and do them, then I will give you your rains in their season, and the land shall yield its increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. Verse 5, your threshing shall last to the time of the grape harvest, and the grape harvest shall last to the time for sowing. And you shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land securely. So, jumping to verse 14 to 16 for punishment for disobedience. But if you will not listen to me, and will not do all these commandments, if you spurn my statutes, and if your soul abhors my rules, so that you will not do all my commandments, but break my covenant, then I will do this to you. I will visit you with panic, with wasting disease and fever that consume the eyes and make the heart ache. And you shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. Then jumping to verses 40 to 43, this will end our passage. But if they confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers in their treachery that they committed against me, and also in walking contrary to me, so that I walked contrary to them and brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised heart is humbled, and they make amends for their iniquity, then I will remember my covenant with Jacob, and I will remember my covenant with Isaac, and my covenant with Abraham, and I will remember the land. But the land shall be abandoned by them, and enjoy its Sabbaths while it lies desolate without them. And they shall make amends for their iniquity, because they spurned my rules, and their soul abhorred my statutes. So that is our reading for Leviticus 26. So within these three passages, this is a way to summarize the chapter without reading the entire chapter. But the true essence of this chapter is simply to point out three key points. Here we see the gospel message in Leviticus, that God speaks of his grand plan for the salvation of his beloved and his commands. The second point, God's covenant blessing also has a covenant punishment. And lastly, redemption and repentance. These are the ways that God has made for us. These are the ways that God has made for us as his means. So, in essence, Leviticus 26 is already pointing out to the gospel. Of course, this is the Old Testament. Israel, the Israelites, the people who were listening to this in Mount Sinai, they did not have a clearer or super clear as we have here in the modern times. Hindi tulad natin sa panahon ngayon, nakita na natin sa New Testament na si Kristo ang kapunuan. Siya ang tugon sa batas na imposible nating masusunod. Nakikita natin dito, no? May biyaya kung tayo susunod, may kaparusahan kung tayo ay hindi susunod. Pero makikita natin, no, na kahit sa gano'n natin kaperpektong pagsunod, hindi pa rin ito sasapat sa batas ng Diyos. Dito sa Leviticus 26, pero makikita natin, no, makikita natin ang ganap sa kanyang salita, na kung tayo ay tapat na susunod sa kanya, na kung titingnan natin na ang pagsunod natin ay bunga ng Diyos, ay bunga ng kabutihan ng Diyos, tayo ay magiging ganap sa kanyang kabutihan. Makikita natin ang ating kaganapan bilang mga tao sa mundo, makikita natin sa Leviticus 26, ay hindi sa pamamagitan ng pagsunod sa batas lamang. Kundi ito ay pag-asa sa Diyos, sa kanyang kapatawaran. Makikita natin to in Romans 10 verse 9. If we confess with our mouth that Jesus is Lord, and God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So it is clear. It's not through our following of the commandments that God has granted us grace. It's not because we are obedient, because in our nature, we are disobedient. It is God's covenant. It is God's work as well. It is God still that we are able to see in His Word, to be able to see in Leviticus, that even in the Old Testament times, the gospel is relevant. The gospel is important, whereas it is the work of Christ, not our work. Merely our sins, that's our main work. We just sin, but it's still God who forgives. It's still us in repentance. In the latter parts, in verses 40 to 43 and onwards, we see, nakikita natin na ang papatawaran ang siyang naging daan sa atin patungo kay Kristo. At kung kikilalanin natin si Kristo, ay sana mga kapatid, huwag tayong tumigil sa pagkilala sa Kanya. So this really this is all about Leviticus 26. And I hope na may nakapulutan tayo dito mga kapatid. Tayo manalangin. Sa aming dakilang Diyos, Panginoon, maraming salamat ito sa aming reading. Maraming salamat sa Leviticus 26 na makita namin na ang Ebanghelyo mo, Panginoon, ay hindi nawawala sa Old Testament, kundi mas lalo namin nakikilala ito sa tulong ng inyong salita sa New Testament, Panginoon. Maraming salamat. Patuloy namin na kilalanin na si Kristo ang aming Diyos, na siya ay nabuhay muli, tulad ng sinasabi mo sa Scripture. Maging tapat ito sa aming mga puso't isipan, na sa pang-araw-araw namin, na kilalanin namin si Kristo bilang ang aming tagapagligtas. Huwag lamang sa aming mga salita, kundi sa aming mga puso't isipan. Maraming salamat, Panginoon, sa inyong gabay sa amin. Sa aming samot dalangin, sa ngalan ni Jesus. Amen.